All right, let's do radical functions and its inverse relation. Question number 1, and I'm planning to do A, B, C with you, and you will do other problems on your own. If you are watching the video, the same handout is on shared OneNote. So go to shared OneNote and find 4.3, and you have a handout there. Okay, consider the function given and find the inverse of the function and sketch the function and the inverse function and determine whether or not the inverse is a function. So we are going to use vertical line test to say yes or no for the function or not. Okay, what is this? Oh, okay, so let's start. So it's same kind of a thing. We have learned how to draw inverse function the other day by switching x and y's, right? So let's start the same way. And I'm going to use these 3 points as a reference point. 0, comma, -2, that's right. And 1, comma, -1, 2, comma, 2, so I'm going to use that as a reference point, okay? Inverse function is simply we swap x and y, right? So I wrote x and y, but I'm going to say this is my inverse of the function x, okay? F of x. So that is the notation for the inverse. So I simply swap this y's all coming to x values. So let's swap it. -2 and 0, -1 and 1, 2 and 2. I swap x column and y column, and I wrote it again in the xy table. Even I swapped, I say xy columns, okay? So this is f of x, and the other is inverse of f of x. So let's plot the points. -2 and 0, -1 and +1, and 2 and 2. So I can connect the parts, and then I see this top part. Can I do other points also? So this is at -1 and -1, so -1 and -1 right here. And the other point, -2 and +2, so let's swap. That is 2 and -2. So 2 and -2. So we see symmetrical shape like this. In pre-calculus class, we'll consider this as also a parabola. This is left-hand side, that is vertical parabola, and right-hand side is going to be called horizontal parabola. So both of them are graphs of the parabola. Okay. However, we will make a decision here. Is the inverse a function or not? No, it is not a function. Even we have an equation for the parabola, it is not going to be called a function because it fails the vertical line test. For every input, we must have one unique output. But this case, we have 2 outputs, right? So that is not a function. So to define this as a function, I have to do domain restriction. So if I use only the top part, that's going to be a radical function, okay, radical function. So for the radical function, to define this as a function, I must restrict the domain, okay? So we are not using the bottom part when we say the function. We use only the top part. Does it make sense? Okay. All right. Next one, we do the same way. And you see the vertical parabola, we will see horizontal parabola as an inverse function, right? And we know that's not going to be a function because we will have 2 outputs for input. So we will see that. So that is -3, 0, right? So let's swap the number 0, -3, 0 and -3. Another point, let me use -2 and 4, -2 and 4, switch x and y coordinate, 4 and -2, 4 and -2. And the third point, negative 4n, positive 4, let's switch, 4n, negative 4. For same number 4, we have two different outputs, so this is not going to be a function. 4n, negative 4 right there. And then connect the points with the nice smooth curve. It's a parabola, but it is sideways, okay? So this is not a function. To make this as a function, I need to take one part, top part or bottom part, upper or lower. I need to have only one. Make sense? Okay, now let's do backwards. Question C has domain restriction, and all the domain values are greater than or equal to negative 2. So we can have only one function, okay? That is square root function. We'll do the same way. Let's do it with the green color, okay? Negative 2 comma 0, that is the starting point. So let's swap x coordinate, y coordinate, 0 comma negative 2. 0, don't go anywhere, down 2 units. And next point, negative 1 and positive 1, let's switch. 1 and negative 1. 1 and negative 1. And then last point, 2 and 2. So let's switch. That's same as 2 and 2. 2 and 2. And connect the points nice smoothly, just like this shape, okay? So I need to do this way, okay? Like that, right? So that is a curve. So this is the inverse function of the given function. So is the inverse a function? Yes, we had one arm, and now we see that inverse, it is also a function. Make sense? Okay, that's the lesson. And think about flipping the x and y to plot the points, and you can identify it's a function or not. And if you are not sure about the shape, you can graph this given function on the right side bottom corner of the paper, and then flip the page on the right bottom side, and you will see the image of the inverse function on the back page of the paper. Okay, so same thing from the other day lesson, inverse function.